The massive international auto show was packed with journalists, investors, and thousands of car lovers. Cameras flashed everywhere as luxury brands unveiled their newest creations. Every company wanted one thing: attention. Near the back corner of the exhibition hall stood Ethan Carter, a hardworking single dad and small-town mechanic. Beside him was a silver sports car he had rebuilt with his own hands after years of late-night work in a tiny garage. His 10-year-old daughter Lily smiled proudly while handing out homemade brochures. Across the hall, famous CEO Victoria Hayes arrived with her team to reveal her company's newest multi-million-dollar hypercar. Reporters rushed toward her as photographers surrounded the stage. While walking through the exhibition, Victoria noticed Ethan's modest booth. She looked at the rebuilt car, smiled sarcastically, and said loudly, "Did someone actually approve this display? This belongs in a scrapyard, not an auto show." People nearby laughed. Another executive joked, "Maybe it's here for the children's section." Ethan stayed calm. He simply smiled and continued polishing the hood of his car. Lily whispered, "Dad, are they right?" He knelt beside her. "They're only judging what they see. Give people time." Victoria shook her head and walked away as reporters followed her. Minutes later, the organizers announced a surprise live performance challenge. Every manufacturer would have 2 minutes to demonstrate why their vehicle deserved the Innovation Award. Victoria confidently accepted. Her company's futuristic supercar rolled onto the stage under bright lights. The presentation started perfectly. Until the unexpected happened. The engine suddenly displayed an electronic warning. The digital dashboard flashed red. The hybrid system refused to start. Silence filled the arena. Technicians rushed toward the vehicle. Victoria's confident smile disappeared. After several failed attempts, the announcer apologized. "It appears there is a technical issue." Thousands watched in disappointment. Then the organizer asked if any remaining participants wanted to perform.
Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Enjoy the video.
Almost nobody volunteered. Until Ethan slowly raised his hand. The audience laughed again. The garage guy. Seriously? He'll embarrass himself. Victoria crossed her arms. This should be entertaining. Ethan carefully drove his rebuilt sports car onto the stage. Unlike the expensive hypercars, his car looked simple. No flashy lights. No million-dollar marketing. Only years of dedication. He connected a small diagnostic tablet and explained to the audience that every component had been redesigned for reliability instead of appearance. He turned the key. The engine fired instantly. A deep, smooth roar echoed through the exhibition hall. The crowd suddenly became quiet. Instead of loud noise, the engine produced a perfectly balanced performance note that impressed even veteran engineers. Ethan accelerated gently across the demonstration track. The car handled every corner with incredible precision. When he returned, he opened the hood. Instead of hiding his work, he proudly explained every custom part he had engineered himself using affordable materials. The engineering judges gathered closer. One leaned forward. "Did you design this cooling system yourself?" "Yes." "What about this suspension geometry?" "I built it in my garage after hundreds of tests." The judges exchanged surprised looks. One whispered, "This solves a problem manufacturers have struggled with for years." News reporters immediately turned their cameras toward Ethan. Victoria watched nervously. Then one judge asked permission to inspect the vehicle underneath. Minutes later he stood before the audience. "Ladies and gentlemen, this independent mechanic has developed an innovation that improves efficiency while reducing manufacturing costs dramatically." The audience erupted into applause. Even rival engineers stood to clap. Victoria could hardly believe it. The journalists who had ignored Ethan all morning now surrounded him. Questions came from every direction. "How long did this take?" "Almost 4 years." "Who funded your project?" Ethan smiled. "My daughter believed in me." That was enough. Lily ran onto the stage and hugged him tightly. The emotional moment touched everyone watching. Then came the biggest surprise. One of the world's largest automotive investors stood up. "I'd like to offer $10 million to license your technology." The audience gasped. Another company immediately doubled the offer. Soon several manufacturers competed to partner with Ethan. Only an hour earlier, people had laughed at him. Now billion-dollar companies wanted to work with him. Victoria slowly walked toward the stage. Her confident expression was gone. She looked directly at Ethan. "I judged you without knowing your story. I'm sorry." Ethan smiled politely. Respect is worth more than money. The audience applauded once again. At the end of the evening, Ethan didn't just win the Innovation Award. He also signed a partnership that allowed him to build his own automotive company while keeping full ownership of his invention. Months later, his small garage became a modern engineering center employing dozens of talented mechanics who had once struggled to find opportunities. Lily watched proudly as the company logo was installed above the entrance. She smiled at her father and said, "They laughed at us first." Ethan looked at the busy workshop filled with hardworking people. They only laughed because they couldn't see the finish line. The camera slowly pulled back as engines started across the new factory, proving that true success doesn't come from expensive suits, famous names, or public approval. It comes from skill, persistence, humility, and never giving up when everyone else doubts you.